What's going on, guys? It's GBP baby. Welcome back to another video. I hope everybody's doing well. And what an incredible day, what an incredible week we've had in general. We're coming obviously to the end of the week now, but let's give ourselves a round of applause. Let's be grateful for such a great week. And yeah, it's been really nice. If you've been following along, you'll know how smoothly this week has gone. So if you haven't been following along, I do suggest you go and watch this week's videos because they are very insightful. But as you can see, we had our Thursday reversal just as anticipated. Beautiful delivery to the upside, and moving into Friday, I'd like to think that we can have another up close candle as we start to run towards more highs. So before I continue, I am going to be doing some live back testing on Sunday this weekend, so make sure to join. The link is in the description, and also join the mailing list because I do have content coming. I know I've been saying it for the past month, but make sure your name's on the mailing list because there's going to be lots there to come. Anyway, beautiful delivery to the upside. You can see we opened and traded on higher just as expected. Ran right into the New York session with a continuation. And you can see we're running towards these highs here and then over here as well. So you can see I've cleared my charts just because we've finally had the reversal I was waiting for. So like, and I've, we've done what we expected now. So like moving into Friday, lower risk. I'm going to take my time. I'm happy with my trading week. So now obviously I'm looking at this high as a potential target. On a more longer time frame, I am looking for these highs. But if you want to see the trades I did take today, make sure to join the Discord because obviously in the backtesting session I'll be covering those. Nonetheless, let's go to the 4 hour and look at that. You can see we traded on higher. We didn't take out that wet Tuesday low. The reason I brought our attention to that Tuesday low yesterday was purely because price could have still snatched it, especially at 8 o'clock at the news release. Price could have, wicked down there and then traded on higher because that's one thing you have to be careful about with news. But obviously not. You can see there was, a push and willingness to want to go higher. And I do believe we're going to see a continuation of that moving into the Friday as we run into these highs. So yeah, we are going to drop down to the 1 hour. I will get my daily dividers up. So here is the hourly, and you can see how we traded up higher today. And if you remember yesterday's video, I was talking about that Sunday opening price, which we have right here. And I was saying how the fact that we're still below it as we're trading into the Thursday means that we're likely going to run to the buy side of it, as into the premium of it. And that's exactly what we saw happen. So it's habits like these within the market that you need to learn to get used to, because that was one of my confluences with knowing that we're likely going to trade on higher and start running out Tuesday highs and Monday highs. So now that we're taking out these highs, the next high would be this level right here. And yeah, just moving into the next day, I want to see continued support as we run into this high. We do have high impact news tomorrow as well. So that means if we're not at this high by 8:30, which is when the news happens, if we're not at this high, then I'd like to see price expand at that point to those levels. But yeah, nonetheless, such a gorgeous day. Let's go to the 15-minute. Traded higher. Classic consolidation here right before, right in that New York session after 8:30. And then we had a continuation in the afternoon. Again, running into that Monday high that I was calling out. So obviously we've got the Asian session still to trade, but I am looking for this consolidation over here. This should be able to provide support. So let's go to the 1 hour again. And I'm going to highlight this entire consolidation. And I spoke a lot about consolidations this week, if you've been following along. And the same thing I'm going to bring our attention to is the fact that consolidations, we use them as ranges basically. Like I want to see this consolidation now that we're above it especially. I want to see it provide support. So if we do retrace back into this consolidation, lowest I want to see it go is that midpoint, and then I'd like to think it would use it to send price higher. Don't get me wrong, we may run right to that high in the London session and then get a reversal to finish off the week, which is completely fine. But yeah, so we might run straight up to there and then get a reversal, maybe New York, and trade lower. So if we are above this high at the 8:30 time, it's very possible we'll have a New York reversal, but don't stress it too much. Yeah, don't stress it too much. End of the week, take your time, be easy on yourself. Let's go on the 15-minute. And you can see how we came back down. And look how we're finding support on that Sunday price. It's holding it, isn't it? So we want to see continued support. I don't expect price to need to come back below this Sunday opening price again. If it does, I'll be a little bit weirded out, to be honest, because it shouldn't need to, especially since we're clearly running for some kind of significant swing high, which is what we have up here. So until that's reached, heavily bullish. Once we get above that, I'm probably I'll be finished with the week, because there's no point in trying to trade at that point. Like, I might as well finish with the week, and then we can start obviously looking into the new week on Sunday as per usual. So yeah, it's going to be a pretty quick video today, but absolutely gorgeous delivery. Let's now head on to GBP USD. So we're going to start on the daily here as well. And you can see we had a massive down day. Now, in my Discord server, I keep talking about this, but join it, guys. In the Discord server, I did put a message in there in the morning saying, right, they're holding GBP in consolidation whilst Euro is moving lower. I'll speak more on it as we drop down to the lower time frames, but that enabled me to get on the right side of GBP in line for their news announcement of the interest rates. I will talk about that once we get to the hourly, but anyway, let's see. So we traded higher. Where do we trade to? 25% level, or just missing the 25% level off this wick. And then you can see we ran out that Wednesday low as anticipated, Tuesday low as anticipated, and even this low as well, just about. So I do want to see a continuation of a push lower. We have this massive daily fair value gap in the discount, which I want to see if we can trade into. So I'm looking to see if we can reach into that, move into Friday. Don't get me wrong, we don't need to fill it, but I would like to think that we can dip into it and run below this low right here. That should be easy enough for price. In terms of premium, because remember, there's obviously got to be some kind of high created. I'm looking at this long wick right here, more specifically the 25% and the 50% levels of it. So let's get those marked out. And the reason I'm looking at this long wick is, one, it's the longest wick, meaning that it's a huge range. And second of all, price should refer to these to provide resistance. Ideally, we don't reach that 50% level, and the very highest we see price trade is that 25% level if we are to retrace before trading lower. This is all assuming price doesn't want to run straight down here in the London session. So let's just take that into account, guys. Let me just get that south side delineated like so. And also, if you're not subscribed yet, make sure to smash subscribe. We're nearly at 1.5k subs, which is incredible, guys. Honestly, I can't believe it. Yes, let's drop down to the 4 hour now. And you'll see beautiful delivery to the downside again. Traded higher, hit that 25% level, and since then, obviously traded lower. Breaker right here. Last down close candle before the up move. So we have a high. Let's get rid of this for a second. We have a high, we have a low, we have a higher high, and then price broke down below. So as soon as that happened, if you wanted to get in, this candle right here would have been an entry. Go short there, breakaway gap formed right here. I'll be covering all of this on Sunday in the Discord. That's a breakaway gap right there. But as price traded back into this candle, short there, stop loss above there, where we targeting, we had these lows in mind, and you can see we reached that quite beautifully. So these are the levels I was talking about. Now that I'm on the 4 hour though, I doubt price is even going to be able to get up there. So let's get rid of those. And let's now look at this long wick. I never realized we had such a huge 4 hour wick. So let's get that midpoint marked out. And now this should be able to provide us resistance. It's also combined with what we call an implied fair value gap. Now, hopefully you're following along. There's a lot to talk about here. This is an implied fair value gap right here. And basically, if price trades into that, I want to see resistance outside. Like, I want to see price turn around in it. It shouldn't be able to trade through that nicely. Very highest I want to see price trade is here. But ideally, we respect the 50% level of this. And remember, right now I'm talking about retracement specifically in the Friday to form setups. I want to see that 50% level respected for us to then be sent down into our south side targets below here. So let's drop down to the 1 hour now. And I am going to now talk about the consolidation I was talking about earlier on in the day, which I spoke about in the Discord. So if you're in the Discord, you'll know about this. But yeah, let's add Euro just so I can show you what I mean. So if we look at this range right here, let's make it white and we'll make it black. Let's just highlight this range right here. And then we compare it up here. You can see that Euro was moving very nicely to the downside. And as we were taking out this low right here, if we look at the same low on pound, you'll see how pound was struggling to take it and we were retracing a lot. Pound was the one with news, interest rate announcement specifically at 7 o'clock. So when I saw okay, they're holding pound here. They have news at 7 o'clock, but they've sent euro lower and dollars rallying higher, but they're holding pound in consolidation. I was very comfortable to enter my trade going short then, with the expectation that their interest rate announcements at 7 would send pound to catch up. That's what we call the six sister approach, because she was forced then to catch up with euro and obviously dollar rallying higher. So it's little hints like these that the market give us for us to form setup. So as we retrace back into this range in a breaker as well, happy to short, knowing okay, 7 o'clock will hit and we'll likely expand, and then bam, like a hot knife through butter, price traded lower, and then from then on we've just been running on lower and lower. So it's little things like that which we can study in price. I'm like I said, I'll keep saying this, but I'm going to be doing that this Friday, that we can study to help us frame trade setups. Nonetheless, here's that range I was talking about. If we are to retrace again, very high, so I want to see us trade. We have bearish order blocks here. We traded into that already. So now I'm looking at this bearish order block, which lines up with our range. Another reason why, if we are to retrace into here before we reach this level, remember, if we retrace into this before we reach this, then I'm happy to be shorting in this range to trade on lower. If we go for this low first, the whole idea of this acting as resistance no longer applies. It's another story. So nonetheless, be patient, see how Asia trades. If London wants to create some kind of high, very well, it can do so and then trade on lower. Or like I said, what will happen is we'll just fall right out of bed as we trade into Friday, take out these lows and then get a midday reversal and then look for those London highs. So let me just show you the two ways I'm seeing price now. It's either going to create a high here and then run for these lows tomorrow, as in, throughout the day, or it's obviously going to trade lower. Where am I? Or I want to see price trade lower, and then we'll run for the London highs that are created in that time frame. So I don't know if that makes sense. Regardless, I want to see these lows get taken. Then after that, I'll be reevaluating and see what we can get in on. It does look like we have news at 2 a.m. So again, if we're in this premium still, it may be that they want to send price lower to run out those sell stops. Or if we do reach down here and we are hitting the midnight candle and we're below these lows, it'll be the opposite, and I'd expect us to expand higher. It's as simple as that, guys. It just depends where we are. But that's how I'm looking at price moving into the new day. Let's go on the 15-minute. And you can see, look, this is the consolidation I was talking about. Beautiful expansion at 7 o'clock, just as anticipated. Fair value gap entry right here if you want to go short. And then heavy consolidation between 8:30 and 9:30. Classic price action really, but then eventually price came lower, little retracement here, 2 o'clock, and since we're just tittering on lower. So yeah, it's going to be interesting moving into the new day. The fact that we're on these lows as well, so you see how they're holding price around these lows. Yes, we've just about taken it, but remember, we have this massive daily fair value gap still, so I wouldn't be surprised if they did just continue pushing price heavily and deeply into it. So we may get a continuation in New York, but it should be okay to figure out regardless. So yeah, quite nice. Let's finish up on Euro USD. We'll start on the daily here as well. Again, gorgeous delivery, guys. Took out Wednesday's low as anticipated, took out Tuesday's low. We're starting to run into this range. So our next low would be this low as a target. Now, I prefer to look at down close candles as targets for, lows. Looks like we close on a low as well. Very interesting. But nonetheless, this is still a daily low. Now, daily lows are the most significant, so make sure to have those marked out. That's how I know where liquidity is residing pretty much. And then if we go to the 4 hour, you can see classic break here, traded up, where to? Breaker, and this whole range is a breaker. Down close candles for up moves. And yeah, I'm just expecting a run lower. Let's go to the 1 hour. And you can see traded lower as soon as price opened, we were running lower, running out those stops. Here's the breaker. This down close candle. So if we drag that out, this is where a shorting opportunity would have appeared in here during the consolidation. Send price lower and then moved to the new day. We have that Monday low as a target, because remember, daily lows are significant. And another thing to take note of is we are just about below that Sunday opening price. So that's another thing to consider, isn't it? So remember how we're treating these. We're treating this as support and resistance, aren't we? So now that we're just around it, especially once we're below it, we need to think how we can use this as resistance and to help us form setups to then send price lower to our Monday target. These lows, potential, but Monday is where I'm looking for price to run to. Is that a fair value gap? We do have a fair value gap just below that Monday low on the 15 minute. So it'll be nice to see if price can trade down into that. And then again, we've got news at 3:30 a.m. So if we're still tickering around this Sunday opening or we're in some kind of premium, it'll be nice to send price lower into this. Or like I said, the reverse, if we're already down here by then, we may see price leave it and trade on higher. So that's something to consider. But yeah, that's going to be everything, guys. Thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to smash subscribe, join the mailing list, and join the Discord. I've got live back testing on Sunday. And I hope you found this insightful. Peace.